WordPress email delivery is very tricky. Not having your emails sent out properly to your users, ending up in spam, or getting blocked by email servers can get quite frustrating, especially if you have a website like an e-commerce store, an e-learning site, something that really heavily relies on emails. Now, setting up SMTP, something you might have heard, is half the battle, but not all of it. There are many other things that you need to consider as well when your emails are not being sent out properly. Stuff like your domain's reputation, wherever it is that you're hosting your website, your web server's reputation, the IP, the records like DMARC, DKIM, SPF. There's a lot more things, but don't worry about it. This video, I'm going to simplify it as much as possible. Even if you're not techie, you'll get the idea. So in this video, we'll not just be setting up our SMTP. We'll do that at last, but even before that, we're going to run some tests on your domain, IP, and all that stuff. Now, if you're someone who's sending out your emails from something like gmail.com, which is so not professional, you might be doing that. In that case, just setting up your SMTP will do you just fine. If you want to learn how to set up your Gmail SMTP, then check out this video, which is linked down in the description as well. And yeah, I suppose let's get started with the video. But before we do, make sure you drop a like, subscribe. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. I post a lot of banger tweets out there. And now, let's get started. Alright, boys and girls, here we are within the computer screen. Now, whenever you're sending out any sort of email from within WordPress, setting up an SMTP plugin is mandatory, okay? Like, that's something you have to do. So if you haven't set up an SMTP plugin, that's something you need to do. We'll get to it in a bit, but even before we do that, we're gonna have to run some tests on our domain. Whether or not our domain has been blacklisted, sometimes our IP in which our server is hosted, that thing can be blacklisted, and there's many other things like DKIM, SPF, DMARC records. Don't worry about any of it. I'm going to simplify it as much as possible. But yeah, if you really care about your email delivery, then these are some things that you'll have to check. So let's get started with that first. Now let's first go ahead and let's test out whether or not our domains are safe. So now there's something called email blacklists. And now whatever domain you're using to send out your emails from within your WordPress website. Like, suppose if I were to send out an email from sid@tegrel.co, that right there is a webmail that is tied to the tegrel.co domain. Now, for many reasons, domains can be put into blacklist if the domain has sent out a lot of spam emails before. Like, it might not be you, it might be the previous owner who owned that domain. That person might have used the domain to send out phishing emails, spam emails, etc. And that could affect your email delivery once you've purchased the domain. Like, this happened to us before. Once when we were releasing a product, we had this amazing domain name ready. But turns out almost 5 or 6 years prior, someone had used that domain to spam other people, to phish other people, and basically that domain was a part of a lot of blacklists. Now let's not go in too deep about that story. To check whether or not your domain is okay, you can simply go within this site right here, amaxtoolbox.com. I'll leave all the links down in the description below, so make sure you check that out as well. You can go in here, you can type out your domain, and you can click on blacklist check. Now what this tool is going to do is it's going to check out all the different block lists and whether or not your domain has been listed there. If your domain has been listed, it's not going to say okay. It's going to say something like bad, or I don't know what it's going to say, but basically something not green. It's going to be red. All right. And yeah, if I scroll down here, there's a lot of different blacklists here. Here it says timeout, so basically it could not connect to these blacklists. Totally cool. My domain is pretty safe. Like, if your domain just exists in a couple different blacklists, like 1 or 2 blacklists, I wouldn't worry about it that much. Like, over time, they might delist it. But yeah, if you really care about your email delivery and you want to delist it from this blacklist, then first of all, you must figure out what the issue is. Whether or not there is any issue on your site, like, you have an improper SMTP setup. Maybe someone's using your domain to send out a whole lot of spam emails, like, that could happen. So first of all, make sure your setup within your website is totally fine. And after that, you can simply reach out to this blacklist right here. Now, suppose for whatever reason, my domain was listed on the Barracuda blacklist, then I would simply search for Barracuda blacklist delisting process. I'll do something like this. And yeah, I would see their website right here, Barracuda Central Reputation System Removal Request. I can simply visit their site. I'll put in my server IP address. This is something that is provided via your hosting, so check out your hosting panel, whatever it might be, your email address, phone number, and reason for removal as to, like, whether or not you had any issues prior. And here within reason for removal, like, suppose you had an improper SMTP setup, suppose you were using any sort of email service that was sending out bulk emails to other users that was marked as spam, like, you can list out those reasons here. Now, you might be wondering why it asks for email server's IP address. Now, sometimes what can also happen is if you're using shared hosting, your IP can get flagged as spam as well. So your IP reputation matters, your domain reputation matters. Now again, to check out your IP blacklist, you could also use a tool like dnschecker.org. Now I found out that using dnschecker.org/IP blacklist checker really helps you with your IP blacklist checks. So here you can simply go in, enter your domain and click on check in blacklists. I'll leave all these links down in the description below, so I'll just letting you know. Now here it's going to ask you to check the IP. This right here is my IP. I'm going to click on it. And now it's going to check this IP across all the different blacklist sites. And here it seems my IP has been listed in one of these blacklists here. So I can view the details. And yeah, if I want this delisted, then I'll simply reach out to their team and I would try to delist it. But first of all, it's important to know why it was listed there. So now if I plan to reach out to their team, I would simply say, I don't know why my domain is listed here. So if you could help me figure out why my domain was listed here, I could fix that issue. But so far, there is nothing wrong. I've not been misusing this domain. I'll simply say that and I'll try to reach out to them, right? So that is something you need to do as well. And yeah, all these links will be down in the description below. Make sure you check it out. So now one more thing related to your IP blacklists. It also depends on what sort of hosting you're using. If you're using hosting from a cheap company just because, you know, the pricing was really low. And on top of that, if you're using like shared hosting, then your IPs will be shared. And other websites that have used a similar IP might be spamming, right? And those IPs might get flagged for spamming, which in return, whenever you're using shared hosting, then you might be using the same IP and your emails will now get flagged as well. So first of all, it's really important to get your hosting from a reputable source. Now I use Hostinger. It's something I've used for a while. I haven't had any issues with them. And the second thing is, if you really care about your email delivery, stay away from shared hosting. Get your own IP, get a dedicated hosting for yourself if you have like an e-commerce store or something like that. That's going to be really important as well. Now, if you're looking for a really good hosting, take it from me. I've been using Hostinger for a while. This is not exactly sponsored. I do have an affiliate link, which it gives to everyone. So if you want to get Hostinger's hosting plan for a discount, I'll leave a link down in the description below. And yeah, now let's jump into DKIM, SPF, and DMARC records. Now again, this also somewhere ties within the hosting that you have. Now a lot of hosting will already take care of DKIM and SPF. I guess let me first answer what they are. Now DKIM stands for Domain Keys Identified Mail. This is basically protocol, like, you know, for your domains, you have different records. So DKIM record basically verifies your email as legit. Like that is the simplest way I can describe it to you. Now, if you're using something like Hostinger here, they do have an option. If I go within my emails, let me select one of my emails. We have a custom DKIM option in here. You can click on it. And yeah, you can generate a DKIM record, and this will really help you protect your domain reputation as well. So this is something you can do, DKIM. Now, SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework. SPF, a lot of hostings, wherever it is that you've gotten your mailbox from, a lot of them will basically do it. So you don't really have to worry about this. Just make sure wherever it is that you're getting your mailbox from, they have a Sender Policy Framework. Like suppose here I'm using Hostinger, and you can see ability to receive emails. My Amex records are fine. Protect your email reputation. My SPF records are just fine as well. Increase email deliverability with the DKIM records, that's fine as well. And it seems Hostinger also does DMARC records for me as well, message authentication, so that is fine as well. I've got all these 4 checks. So yeah, highly recommended you get your email box from a reputable hosting company. Now finally, something that you might have to do if you really care about your email delivery is going to be DMARC. It basically means domain-based message authentication. As it is stated here, it is an email authentication protocol that allows domain owners to protect their domain. Now this is something a lot of hosting providers or email mailbox providers don't really do. This is something you're gonna have to do manually. Now I will say this, you don't have to do it mandatorily, like, you know, even without a DMARC, your emails will end up just fine. But if you have a really high traffic website and you're sending out over 5,000 plus emails a day, then at that point it gets mandatory. You have to do this, right? I think mailboxes like Google and I think Yahoo, if I'm not wrong, they require DMARC authentication. Like if all your other things are checking out, like SMTP, your domain is not blacklisted, your IP is not blacklisted, then you should be fine and you don't really have to do it. But yeah, if you do it, it's gonna be better. Now, if you want to learn how to set up a DMARC record, let me know down in the comments below. It's gonna make this video really long. I will create a separate video for that. Though keep in mind, it's going to be a little bit different depending on where you've got your domain and your mailbox from. So just letting you know. Now, if you want to set up a DMARC record yourself, then you can simply search on Google how to set up DMARC record for, you know, wherever it is that you've gotten your domain from or your mailbox from. You can simply Google it up and I'm pretty sure you'll find some tutorials dedicated to your mailbox provider. So now let's jump into our final step. This step basically makes it or breaks it, and it is SMTP. Now this will fix 90% of the issues. but for some reason, if this doesn't fix it, whatever we discussed before is the remaining 10%. This is something that you have to do. So now let's jump into our SMTP setup process. So now to set up SMTP, don't worry, it's not gonna cost you money. If you've already bought a webmail service, then you're good to go. You just have to install a free plugin within your WordPress website. Click on Add Plugin from within your WordPress dashboard and simply search for SmartSMTP. Now this plugin is something I've been looking over myself, so just letting you know, you can install it. It's a really easy to use free plugin. There's a lot of other SMTP plugins as well, but yeah, I recommend you use this one. Doesn't matter which one you use, the process is going to be very similar. It's just about, a few features here and there. That's all really. So let's go ahead and let's activate this plugin. Now also there is one thing that I need to say, and that is if you are using something like gmail.com, like if you're using your Gmail to send out your emails from within your website, first of all, why? Because it's so not professional. But if you are using your Gmail to send out emails via your website, then you still have to set up SMTP. And if you want to learn how to set up SMTP for Gmail or Outlook, etc., then I'll leave some video links down in the description below. I recently created one for Gmail using the same plugin, so I'll link it down below. Not a good practice, but if you want to do it, I do have a tutorial for that. In this video, we're going to be using our hosting mailbox account, right? So to set up our SMTP, let's go within SmartSMTP menu right here, assuming you've installed the plugin. Let's go here and let's click on My Connections. So now here within My Connections, we have a primary connection, a fallback connection. Don't worry about fallback connection yet. If you want to set up a fallback connection, you can do it. But for this video, I'm just going to keep things really simple, and we're going to be setting up a primary connection, right? So here, I'll be setting up my mailbox from Hostinger. So to do that, let's go ahead and let's click on Other SMTP. Let's make this thing active first, and let's go ahead and let's provide my email address. I'm going to use my email account, sid@tegral.co. This is one of my test accounts. Now, if you know what you're doing, you can simply uncheck the force from email option, but I'm simply going to turn it on for now, and I'm going to turn on set return path to match the from email. Now, when the force from email option is on, regardless of what value your plugin is trying to send for this email, SmartSMTP plugin will send out sid@tegral.co as your email address. And this is going to be very important because, sometimes I might have set up my SMTP for sid@tegral.co account, and my plugin might try to send the email from sam@tegral.co, which in that case, our from email addresses will be a mismatch. So forcing the from email basically solves that problem. Now set return path to match the from email is basically, sometimes your emails can bounce. Suppose you're trying to send out a WooCommerce invoice to a user, but they typed out their email wrong. So what do you do at this point? Like that email is not going to reach to your user. So set return path to match the from email basically sends an email back to whichever email address it is you're sending out the email from, so that you can forward it to the proper email later on and your email will not be lost. So this is an amazing feature. I recommend you turn it on. My from name, I'm going to leave it as Sid. If I want to force this from name, I can do so as well. Now reply to email address, whatever email is being sent out, whenever it is replied to, which email should that reply go to? That's basically what it means. Now your SMTP host, the type of encryption, SMTP port, this is all going to require you do a bit of Googling. Now for Hostinger, it's pretty straightforward. So for Hostinger, it's pretty simple to get my host name, my port, etc, etc. Since here in this video we're setting up SMTP, if I go within my Hostinger's Edge panel, connected apps and devices, I can get my host name right here. I can simply paste it in. It is basically smtp.hostinger.com. Here you can choose the type of encryption that you want. If you select TLS, it's going to be 587. That's totally fine. TLS is generally the standard, I suppose. And now once you've done that, you can click on SMTP authentication. This basically means you're going to have to put in your username and your password. So for my account, sid@tegral.co, my password is... I'm not going to tell you that. So that's my password. Let's click on Save Connection Settings here. And there it is. My connection has been saved successfully. Now we're not done yet. We're going to have to test whether or not this email is actually sent. So let's go within our test email option here and let's select our primary connection. And I'm going to send this mail to one of my Gmails. And here I'm simply going to send my test email. So now if my SMTP was set up properly, then within Gmail, my email should land. So let's click on Send Test Email, and there it is. My message has been sent successfully. Now, if there was any sort of error on the plugin side, on your setup side, plugin would say, hey, there's some sort of error going on, and you would have to check your connection again. But yeah, my connection seems just fine. Let me go ahead and let me open up my Gmail, and bam, there it is. This right here is my Gmail inbox, and you can see we have a mail from Sid, which is me, who is me, SmartSMTP test email 2. My email right here. So this right here is our test email. Congrats, the test email was sent successfully. Thank you for trying out SmartSMTP. We're on a mission to make sure blah blah blah, whatever. my message has delivered within my inbox. It's not within spam. Everything has worked out just fine. So SMTP, very important. Set it up. Go through all the different domain and IP checks that I've shown you as well. If they're working just fine, make sure you get an actual good hosting. That's going to be super important as well. If you want to check out a good hostinger, I'll recommend it. Not sponsored whatsoever, just what I've been using for a while, and it has been working very well for me. And yeah, I suppose that's about it. So I hope you guys found that video helpful. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. All the helpful links will be down in the description below. If you've got any thoughts about me, the video, leave them down in the comments. And I suppose that's about it for this video. Follow me on Twitter. I'm Sid, and I'll see you whenever I'll see you. Take care.